Test.
What's up, Jay?
What's up, brother?
How you doing on this fine Sunday?
You can hear me good?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Arr! Yeah, I'm trying to plug in my mic, but it's just going through my phone. So let me mute the TV, or better yet, let me put my Bluetooth headphones in for you.
Do your thing, brother
We got
man.
March Madness. We got too much going on. We got Valspar Championship in golf. It's beautiful. It's Sunday. This is our day.
Listen, Jay, you're going to be disappointed by this, maybe, or you'll respect it. But I'm a trencher. I'm a football trencher. I don't give a shit that we're in the middle of March Madness. I don't give a shit about golf. I am football, NFL, fantasy football. I'm draft. I'm football all the way, and literally everything else can go fuck in the wind.
I love it.
It's the trencher mentality.
I love it, man. Let's
Yeah.
get into some football talk. We got
Yeah.
cornerback prospects here, Drew. And I'll tell you what, it's a good crop. It's a good crop, baby. I
Is
like
it?
it. I like these guys. I think we
Okay.
got some studs, man. I think we got some absolute fucking studs.
Jay, I'll say this. This is one of those positions where, like, the other side of the line has just continued to outbattle them. The wide receivers win year in, year out on a talent basis, on a money basis, like on a amount of prospects in the top 100 basis. And I'm very interested to see. I'd like more stars on that side of the ball. I'd like more Trent McDuffies, more Sauce Gardners. And, but look, I mean, the thing is with it is these are very important picks because you could have, I wrote down a whole list of them here because I'm ready to give you ADPs on them. You could have some guy
Oh
that you're
yeah.
picking at 110 or whatever, and he can be an absolute stud. You know what I mean? Like these guys, I feel like
Oh
you
yeah,
can find
100%.
value.
100%, brother. I think we got some Trent McDuffies in the making
Yeah.
in this list. So let's get into it, man. We got to start where we left off last pod. We talk about wide receivers. I want to talk about their counterparts here, and it's no better way to start than Travis
Yep.
Hunter. Just kind of to transition into his cornerback prospects. What he's looking at. The comp. Charles Woodson said it last podcast, and he's a unicorn,
Yeah.
Drew. I mean, he really is.
I mean, we
I'd be
talked about it.
shocked if he got out of the top four.
Oh, he's not getting out of the top four. I mean, I think just the versatility aspect and the ability not only to be versatile but to be great on both sides. Um, I just hope he gets that opportunity because if a team lets him, roll the dice and play both sides, it opens up a whole opportunity to where you have another whole roster spot, like
Yeah,
these coveted
it's a
roster
cheat code.
spots. That would be huge.
It's a cheat
It
code.
is.
So yeah, man,
Um,
good
well,
length,
Travis Hunter,
twitchy athlete.
yeah,
I mean, as a
yeah,
cornerback, Drew, he can really mirror and man coverage. He's got excellent instincts, being the receiver at heart. He drives on the ball well in zone coverage. I mean, just kind of everything you want. Ball skills are obviously a strength for this guy.
yeah. He's an
True ball
attacker.
hawk. So Yeah, very fluid in his movement. So no, he's gonna need to add to his frame. He's a bit lean, but versus big physical receivers could be tough. But I mean,
Like,
gotta work on
you
his
know,
footwork as well.
okay. Jay, tell me this. You know, he's he's got the comp of Charles Woodson, but who in like today's modern day NFL, put aside the versatility, put aside that he's a wide receiver also, like just look at this guy as a corner prospect. Who do you see in him? Is he like a Sauce Gardner? Is he a, who do you see him as?
It's tough, man.
He he gets a lot of interceptions,
He's
doesn't
kind
he?
of his own. He's just kind of his own self. I mean, I didn't watch much Charles Woodson, but kind of similar vibes there. Just a ball hawk, um, and I just think he's got everything. And I want them to play him every fucking
Yeah.
snap, Drew. Like, come on, let him do it. He did it in college, and college is a faster game. With these no huddle teams. Travis Hunter can do it. So I hope they let him go full time both ways, but we'll see. Um, a guy I struggle to find a guy that's like him in real life. You know, I do.
I mean, even is there like a, the only other guy that I think just sort of instincts off the charts, jump a ball and go grab it out of the air. He'll like, when I was watching Colorado, my Buffs, I would see Travis Hunter, just sort of pick up a play and jump it before, when he knows it's going to happen. The only other guy that I kind of remember that is like Darrell Revis. You know, Darrell Revis would jump a quick slant when he sees it happening, and he would go just take the ball out of the air. I mean,
Revis Island, baby.
yeah. Is he that
I
kind of
love
player,
it.
or we wouldn't go that far?
Yeah, yeah, I kind of like that little Revis Island. Travis Hunter's gonna be a ball hawker,
Yeah.
Drew. I mean, yeah. So the he won't get out of the top four. There's no
Yeah.
doubt.
Well, listen,
All right,
he's
let's keep it moving.
he's PFF. I know we talked about him last week, but PFF has him at number one prospect, and drafters are taking him out on average 3.3.
Okay. Yeah. So now that we've talked about him in full, and we've talked about Abdul Carter, I'm willing to say I have Abdul Carter as my number one overall. Just
Okay.
because, Travis Hunter, is he going to be like the best receiver and like top five cornerback in the league at the same time? I mean, if he does, then he is the top prospect in this class. I don't think he's going to be that dynamic, um, but we'll see. We'll see where he goes, what coaching he gets. But I think it's just more Abdul Carter. I think he's really Micah Parsons, just a clone. So but it's a worthy debate. It's a worthy debate. I think those are the for sure the top prospects in this draft class.
Jay, I would love to see a really good team trade up. Like, like for instance, let's say the Bengals. The Bengals the
Oh,
Bengals have like a middle of the draft sort of first rounder. That's that's close enough to where they could jump and they could sell the farm to get up there to like pick number 3 and take this guy. I would just love to see a really good team go all out and get him. I don't want to see him go to a bad team, Jay. I don't want to see. God, could you imagine him on the Titans just wasting away? I just want to see him get his opportunity.
I mean, I was looking at the odds. Titans Cam Ward is minus 600 to be the first pick.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I think he's something tells me Patriots with Travis Hunter.
Blah. Whatever. Patriots. I don't want him to go there either. What? It's fine. I'll be fine to see him go there, but I'd love to see someone
They
move up.
love Drake May.
I would love to see Andy Reid jump from 31 all the way up to number 2.
No way. They'd have to give up like the next 6 years
I
first
know.
round
I
picks.
know.
But yeah, Travis Hunter in the books. Let's keep
Yep.
it moving. Jade Barron out of Texas,
Great.
Drew. And here we go. This is a guy you asked for it. Trent
Love it.
McDuffie, 2024 Jim Thorpe Award winner, best cornerback in the country, versatile, can play outside or in the slot, elite ball skills, 34.2 passer rating allowed according to
Wow.
PFF. Really good. Um, Also, he loves to get his nose dirty. Comes up in the run game. Good run support. 2 picks in one of the biggest games of the year against Georgia in the SEC championship. He's a big play guy. Arm length is kind of his weakness, Drew. Below that 30-inch threshold might keep him out of the top 10, but yeah, I think he could. I think they could push him uh, to a full-time nickel, unfortunately. But that's kind of Trent McDuffie, Trent McDuffie loves to go in the
Yeah.
nickel. So yeah, like Travis Hunter, he's gonna need to add some bulk, to better deal with these physical outside alpha X receivers. But I'm excited to see where he goes. I think he's gonna be a real addition. This whatever Baron.
Well, listen, uh, Daniel Jeremiah, it sounds like he has him as his number 2 prospect. It's the exact same on PFF in both the PFF rankings. They have him at number 7. And also, the public is drafting him as the number 2 prospect. They're down a little bit more from PFF. The public is drafting him at 14.1. Jay.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to be in that range that, if you're talking NBA, the lottery, it's the top 14 picks. I think he's a lottery pick for sure
Yeah.
um, in this draft. So, yeah, I really like him, Drew. Watched him a lot this year at Texas and just kind of a swift army knife. That's what Jeremiah says about him. He's got him as his 8th overall prospect. So, not elite top end speed, but yeah, he's going to be a real addition.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going to this next guy, Drew, who is probably my favorite corner, just pure corner in this draft. Will Johnson out of Michigan. You got his comp right now, Pat Surtain.
Mm.
Just he's a winner, Drew. Just national champ, elite size, 6'2", just an alpha corner. You put him on that X receiver, great technician. He's my favorite pure corner in this class, Drew. I love Will Johnson, and he's being slept on a little bit because he missed some time last year with injury. But that's what happens when you win the national championship the year before. You got to deal with some wear and tear. But I see some J.C. Horn in him
Mm.
as well. Carolina, big. He's just a big time zone corner. A 49.5 passer rating allowed last year. He's a turnover generator. Not, top end speed's not there, but so he can get burnt a little bit. Recovery can be an issue. Didn't play a ton of man, but I'm looking at the Chargers for him, Drew. The Chargers could grab him, reunite him with Jesse Minter,
Mm.
the defensive coordinator that used to be at Michigan. That would be a dream. Could be a fit for Seattle as well with McDonald out there. But man, I think he's another guy. He's a lottery pick to me, top 14 for sure. Where's PFF got them?
Well, PFF has him ranked as their 13th ranked prospect, and the public is just a little bit behind at 16.
Mm, don't let the Chargers get him.
Oh, I mean that sound when you said that, that sounded like a great fit. Listen, Jay, let me
Yeah,
ask you on this. He's big, right? He's got a big frame. How is his physicality? Like at the line of scrimmage, is he someone that's gonna get up there and jam you at the line?
yeah, I think so. He's got that length. He's got that length, and he's got that winner's mentality. There's a learning curve with cornerbacks. You know, they're so good, man. We talked about some of the new ones coming in last week. Uh, there's a bit of a learning curve, but Will Johnson has been there in big games, and with the rise of zone coverage, Drew, especially with these NFL teams. I mean, a lot of them are playing zone coverage a lot of the time. That's the trend right now, and Will Johnson's perfect. I mean, but he can do both. I mean, he's to me, if I'm sitting there, I need to do a better job of knowing who's picking where. I know like the top 5 or 6, but I mean, you can always add a cornerback. So if I can find a prop bet for this guy, if it's like 14, like I'm taking the under. I think Will Johnson's a top 10 pick in my eyes. My my favorite pure corner in this draft.
I mean, top 10, just a couple of names I'm looking at. Chicago Bears are there. The Jets, they lost DJ Reed. They're picking at 7. Your
That would
Cowboys
be,
could even take him. They're at 12.
yeah, they should. Trayvon Diggs would be much better served as number 2 cornerback.
Yeah.
That would be great. I'm rooting for that. Let's keep going. Maxwell Hairston, Drew. Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. All name team guy right here.
There's a couple all name teams in this list.
A little sexual assault accusations
Oh my God.
could affect his draft stock. Not good. Uh, yeah, they got him caught. Darius Big Play Slay,
Ooh.
baby. Yeah. So this is we'll talk about it at the end, but this is a candidate for biggest bust of this group.
Really?
But he's got some Denzel Ward in him too, so he's a good prospect, elite speed, turnover machine. They got Desmond Trufant as a historical comp back in the day with the Falcons, I
Okay.
believe. 3 pick sixes over 20 starts. So good zone corner. He knows his route concepts. I'm sure he played a lot of receiver back in his day. Good tackler. I mean, he really is my kind of corner, Drew. But there's just something about, big talent Probably big personality. How's he going to handle having more money in his pocket? Uh, just the character stuff might push him to day two. I don't know. Where's PFF got him going?
Well, Jay, let me break it down like this. There's this cornerback list here has three different pockets. Let's call that first pocket those ones we just went over. That's sort of, the lottery picks up there. The second the
Yeah.
second pocket is top of the second round to middle of the second round. And there's three of them. PFF has three of them there at 40, 42, and 43. Maxwell Hairston is the 42 guy. So that's where PFF has
Ooh.
him ranked. But what's interesting is the public, out of this three pack, the public prefers Maxwell Hairston quite a bit between the other guys. He's being drafted at 38.1.
Okay.
So he's above
Yeah.
his average rating on PFF.
He's gonna be a guy, maybe a team with a good culture, Drew. Steelers, even your Chiefs. Do the Chiefs just have what's their pick situation? They just have that late first round,
We have a late
and then not again till the second.
not again until the second, but we do have a high third rounder from the L'Jarius Sneed Titans trade. So
Okay.
that could be a pick in itself, or it could be a piece to move up. And we have our end of the
Uh,
third round pick that we own.
I got a guy or two, Drew, in this list that I think is going to be appealing in that
Mm.
range. But yeah, Hairston, man, Jeremiah likes him. Jeremiah's got him as his 32 ranked prospect. Um,
Jay, tell me, why do you say
so we'll,
he's a potential for the bust of the draft?
he's also got some durability concerns. He does. Um, Missed time with the shoulder injury. He's gotta add some weight, man. Um, I'm looking at the Bengals. I'm looking at
Mm.
Miami. I think he could thrive in Miami in that big lifestyle, actually. You know, as long as the sexual assault stuff is taken care of, um, I'm looking at a team that wants to win, that doesn't, that can look past. This could be a Cowboys pick.
Now, do we see this guy logging on to Twitter and saying some unhinged shit online?
I don't know. I haven't followed up on the socials. That's something the teams will be looking at, for sure. But I like his picture too. He's got a nice chain on. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out with Maxwell Hairston. Next up, Drew. We got Trey Amos out of Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
His comp, Carlton Davis, the third. Darrell Green of the Redskins bounced around. Uh, Trey Amos bounced around a lot in college. I think he went to like four different teams. But hey, he's got prototypical size for a boundary corner, Drew. Ran a good 40 time, 4.43. And like here, my thing, I got something on 40 times, Drew. Like, 40 times are important
Mm-hmm.
for these cornerbacks, man. It's probably the position I'm watching the closest with the 40 times. You know, Roxy, you need to take care of that fly that's buzzing around, girl.
Well, listen, Jay,
Ro-
let me say this real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
So the Chiefs have had an unbelievable hit percentage on cornerbacks, and I'm going to go back to Charvarius Ward, who was a late round draft pick. I'm going to go back to L'Jarius Sneed, who was the 6th-round draft pick. I'm going to go to Jalen Watson, who was a 7th. Joshua Williams, who was
Uh-huh.
a 4th. Nazeeh Johnson, who was a 7th. All of these guys were drafted and developed by the Chiefs, and they have an unbelievable system, and they also have a very clear and cut profile of who they draft, and it's length and speed. If you're if
Right
you're
on.
long and tall and fast, then we can bring you into our system and we can turn you into an excellent corner. That's just what they do. And so I love when I hear that he's got those measurables, those intangibles.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. And he can reroute receivers all day, Drew, with that arm length. And he's a guy you put on. You go put him on a DK Metcalf. I think if he didn't bounce around so much in college, that he'd be thought of higher. I just teams don't like it. Find a home. It's like stop fucking moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking ruining college football. So I think he'd have more buzz. He's a penalty guy, Drew. he's 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 not the strongest. Needs to live in the weight room, but he overcommits. And, can be a liability. Sometimes in the penalty game. But I think he goes first round.
Mm.
Where do they got him going? Trey Amos.
Well, Jay, I told you that there's a little tier that PFF has 40, 42, 43. He's the number 40 guy. So PFF sees him as the highest of this second tier, and the public is drafting him at 43.
I just call me crazy. I think he goes first round. Could be the Chiefs.
Could be. Can't rule it out.
Yeah. We'll keep rolling. Drew, we got this cornerback out of Florida State, Isaiah Thompson or Thomas.
Mm.
Isaiah. It's apostrophe
Yeah,
H.
all name team there. It's Azarea.
Gonna.
Azarea.
I love it. Jeremiah's got him right behind Trey
Mm.
Amos as his 42 ranked prospect. And here we go, Drew. Another guy the Chiefs are going to be looking at, Josh Williams of your
Love it.
Chiefs, is the comp here. 6'3" monster. I mean, he's another guy you line up against the Steelers guys, DK and Pickens, and
Yep.
he just does an AFC North team look at this guy?
Mm.
I think so. I think so. Like Josh Williams, you can put him on the X, and then you can fucking bracket coverage the other receiver, and that's just a good game plan. You can play most
You
games.
know what they do with Joshua Williams? They put him right up on the line of scrimmage. And basically,
Yes.
right when the ball is snapped, it's get your hands up on this guy, pop him right in the chest, like get him off balance right away.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. And so yeah, I really like this cat out of Florida State. Um, he can reroute like you're just talking about, throw receivers off at the line, and good in contested catch situations as well to have that length. Um, and the comp drew a Hall of Famer, I believe, Rondé Barber.
Nice.
Did you ever read that Rondé Barber and Tiki Barber kid book?
No, I didn't.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man, it was a classic. I believe I read it back in the day.
Huh.
But shout out to the Barbers, man. just good people. I love Tiki Barber back, just a fantasy
Yeah.
god. So yeah, Azarea, Thomas. you know, hey, and like just keep going on him. Quarterbacks avoided him like the plague last year in the ACC.
Hmm.
I mean, they really did. He's a press man technician. He's gonna jam you at the line like fucking Tony Soprano and the fucking mob. He's just gonna fucking jam you up and fucking, he didn't test particularly well. Not great long speed, Drew, and the zone coverage needs some work. But I think the Chiefs. What's the Chiefs quarterback coach? Do you know off the top of your
Dave
head?
Merritt.
How is he? How's he viewed? Is he viewed as like an up and comer?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable with his ability to recognize and develop talent. He's a guy that you can give him a late round draft pick every single year, and he's going to hit and develop them. It's unbelievable what he's done. He's even gotten interviews for hi- higher positions. He got a couple defensive coordinator interviews, but it's a big jump from cornerback to defensive coordinator. But unbelievable at recognizing and developing talent.
Right on. That's good to hear. It doesn't surprise me with the success we've seen of these guys. Sneed, McDuffie, Williams. Uh,
Watson,
yeah,
um,
yeah, Watson is
Nazee
good.
Johnson was a starter. Like he did Charvarius
Uh
Ward as
huh.
well. I mean, he's been there for a long time
Yeah,
developing these guys.
and I got to charge Darius Ward, a guy that's really going to hit close to home for you,
Yeah.
Drew,
So
coming up at the end.
Jay, this one's interesting though. Azarea Thomas, um, he's not in that sort of tier that PFF has him. There's a guy that we haven't gotten to yet who was in that 40, 42, 43. Thomas is down at 62 by PFF. But I will say the public is more favorable on him. They're at 56.6.
hmm Yeah, I think he's mid second round type of guy. That feels about his range. Maybe early second round, some team, good tape, I think he's probably a tape guy. So I won't be surprised if his stock keeps climbing as we get closer to the draft.
Love it.
One guy, Drew, that went on a really great run with Notre Dame this past season, going all the way to the national championship, the Fighting Irish, Benjamin Morrison.
Wow.
We'll see if he can make some Benjamins this in his career. The comp, Denzel Ward out of Cleveland. Ty Law, historical comp, I believe, another Hall of Famer. Um, he's a man coverage maestro, Drew. Just get him in a man heavy scheme, elite ball skills. Could be a real hidden gem at this point in the draft. Our three pick sixes last season tied an NCAA record. Um, is he going to struggle versus big receivers? That's kind of the question. He's a bit matchup dependent. Um, he struggled versus Igbuka, who we talked about last week in the Natty. He's a bit grabby downfield. Needs to wear he needs to wear white gloves. I mean, I'm serious. At Notre Dame, I think that's what he was doing. With those white jerseys, white gloves. Little trick of the trade. Didn't play a ton of zone last year. So he's a bit unproven in zone. I played a lot of man in South Bend, so I think his instincts uh, are good enough. Though he's gonna be just fine in zone coverage. It's just might take him some time. Jeremiah says he's a smooth, easy mover with ball skills. Got him ranked 44.
44.
Where's PFF?
Well, I will say PFF and the public agree on him. PFF has him at 66, and the public is taking him at 67.6. So
Ooh,
DJ, I know
okay.
Daniel Jeremiah drafts with his ears, not his eyes. He listens to what teams are talking about. So that's interesting. Teams must be higher than the consensus rankings on him.
Uh-huh.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's going to climb. Especially get some. I can't think off the top of my head who's a good man-to-man scheme. But there are some ones out there. I want to say Miami's a big man-to-man scheme, and I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of fit he gets. Benjamin Morrison. All right, two more guys, Drew. We got Parrish out of K-State,
Yep.
Jacob
Wow.
Parrish. And here we go, another comp, Drew. Trent
Wow.
McDuffie, Kyler Gordon of the Bears as well. And for an historical guy, Terrence Newman. And Jacob Parrish is interesting. Watched him a lot this year in college. He's a competitor. He's a football playing Jesse. I mean, he really is high energy. He's gonna bring it every Sunday. Exceptional footwork, good route recognition, good zone corner. The knock here, Drew, is undersized. He's just his frame. He's a little guy. He's not going to be great in run support. You got to get in the weight room. And so, where's PFF got him?
So he's down there. PFF has him at 110, and the public is taking him at 104. I mean, there's a lot of guys on
Wow.
this list that are above him.
Yeah, so third round kind of guy, but let's see what. One sec. Yeah, this is a guy that the Stock Exchange podcast liked. This is why. That's why he's not in Jeremiah's top 50, but I thought he's worth a mention. K State guy, McDuffie. I won't be surprised if he's the guy the Chiefs look at. Do you think corner is a big need for the Chiefs?
Well, they signed Christian Fulton. So basically, what everybody is seeing is that, basically you've got Jalen Watson and Christian Fulton as your perimeter guys. And then you've got Trent McDuffie can now kind of move around maybe to whoever is just the best player, whoever's the best receiver. Maybe,
Uh-huh.
maybe he's a nickel or whatever. But this Christian Fulton signing has kind of solidified a position where
Roxy, get him on.
you don't need to take a corner, but you can never have too many good corner prospects. So,
Uh-huh.
the Chiefs are in a position they've gotten to a point basically everywhere except nose tackle that they don't need to draft any need. They can take best player available. And that's always the goal for Brett Veach going into a draft. And we think he's nailed it. So um, they're open. They could take a corner, but they don't need it.
Yeah, it's just interesting. There's a lot of guys that I feel like fit their mold,
Yeah.
So, I think it's a good class. We got one more guy here at the end, Drew, and this is your boy.
Darian Porter.
I don't know. Yes, yes. This is your boy, Um, let's see, one sec. I'm trying to get this Belichick thing pulled up as we're wrapping up.
I have something else.
Did you
If
take
you
a
if
look
you
at?
need to pause, I have something else I can interject with.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
No, I mean we can go over uh, Darian Darian Porter, but if you are still looking for Belichick, I have some stuff on principles for drafting in football, fantasy football.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
You okay? Let's do it.
Roxy, stop. Roxy's fucking with the setup.
Oh well, listen. I'll just say
There we go.
on Darian Porter. Um, Darian Porter, PFF has him at 58, and the public is drafting him at 61.2. And I also want to mention that Siobhan Revel is one that was not anywhere on your list, but he was, PFF has him at
Uh-huh.
43, and the public takes him at 47.3. So I don't know. Maybe I smell bust there, or maybe I smell someone who's going to fall. We'll see. It'll be interesting to follow
Yeah,
that name.
I saw his name. I didn't. He didn't crack. I mean, we go by Daniel Jeremiah. He's the godfather with our draft
Yeah.
coverage.
I just,
We follow. I follow his light.
yeah.
Well, on our pirate ship. He's got a pretty nice ship, and I love to link up with him at some
Yeah.
point.
Well, listen, Jay,
But yeah, Darian
we
Porter,
were
Drew.
text we were
Yeah,
texting
go ahead.
we were texting about this, you know, throughout the week. I'm starting to get excited on fantasy football drafts because
Yeah.
right after the real draft is when you can get steep discounts on players. I mean, you'll be shocked. I tracked this with spreadsheets. I would download them, and there's some great resources where you can download, where people are getting drafted. And I would compare week by week
Uh-huh.
and see, who's rising up the ranks, whose ADP keeps on rising and who's falling.
Yes.
And so right
That
after
could
the
be a
NFL
great
draft,
segment for us.
yeah, yeah. So right after the NFL draft is when you can really hit it. And here's just a couple of things that I like to keep in mind for drafting on Underdog or Best Ball Fantasy, wherever your platform is.
Hell yeah.
So my number one principle is always accept a steep discount in the top 100. If there is a player that for some reason the other 11 guys in your draft have chosen, ooh, stinky, that player is, whatever, we're not going to draft him, and it's all of a sudden like a 20-point discount, like if you're at pick
Uh-huh.
100 and this guy was supposed to go pick 80, take him. What the hell, take him. You won't always get that same opportunity to get a steep discount on the guy. There will be other drafts where other people fall and that guy gets reached on. If you do volume on best
100%.
on best ball, if you do volume, like if you're offered a steep
We're gonna
discount,
attack it.
yeah, attack it, take the discount. Now,
Find our inner pirate, baby. We're just gonna keep following the
that's
light.
it. My next principle for drafting, best ball basically the opposite of that rule, which is always be flexible. Never force a pick. Never reach for a guy that you have to have. Just be flexible.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be drafts where all the receivers feel like they're going off the board so quick, and you're like, shit, I don't have a receiver yet. And you want to reach for one because they're all at, you've got to reach for one to get a good one. I say fuck it and fill out quarterback. Go
Yeah.
go beast on running back. Go beast on tight end and go beast on quarterback and get to receiver when you can get it. And if you have to just go volume at that
Just
position, do it. Do it with all of your last 8 picks. Go all receiver if that's what you need to do, but always be flexible. Just let your draft strategy fall into your lap. Whatever everyone else
when
is.
they zig, we zag.
What's that?
When they zig, we
We
zag.
zag. That's exactly right. Just let it fall into your lap there.
We just say, hey, we just find our inner Peyton Manning and just, oh, call out an audible. Hey, hey, Omaha, Omaha, Omaha. You know?
Absolutely.
I love it,
Okay,
baby.
Jay, I have.
We're gonna fucking attack underdog. But yeah, let's get back to Darian Porter to wrap
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
Drew. This is your boy. I mean, this guy's going to the Chiefs.
Love it.
There's no doubt. Travarius Ward of the Niners, the comp, which wasn't he on the
Yeah, he
Chiefs?
was. Drafted and developed him.
Yep.
7th
So I
round.
mean, this guy's coming. This guy's coming, Drew. Darian Porter, Richard Sherman, a historical
Ooh.
comp. So you know the Raiders are going to be looking with Pete Carroll. You know he could be finding his inner pirate on the fucking Raiders. My Raiders, baby. Pete Carroll eating that pirate shit with Max Crosby and Gino. Fuck you. This guy's going to the AFC
I
West.
see it. Yeah.
6 years at Iowa State, Drew. Didn't fucking leave. He's polished. He's polished. 6'2", long arms, big potential.
Wow.
Big potential. Darian Porter, 3 interceptions, 5 block kicks last year.
Wow.
Played wide receiver a lot back in the day. So he's an elite zone coverage guy. He's just the Chiefs or the Steelers. If I can find a prop bet, I mean AFC West, Raiders. I'm trying to bet this guy. I think I know where he's going. I just see it. I see it with Darian Porter, Drew. Raw technique. You know, he's gonna need to go to a good coach, like we were talking about. But this guy excites me. Still developing route anticipation. You know, his floor, special teams nightmare. It's kind of what I see his floor as. I mean, if worst case scenario, you know, I love him if he defensive back coach.
Yeah.
Connor Rogers. Connor Rogers says he's as sticky as a corner as there is in this class. He's just a gamer. I love him. Where's PFF got him slotted?
PFF has him at 58, Jay, and the public is taking him at 61.2.
Steelers, Chiefs, Raiders. I see it. Darian Porter, baby. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I was saying throughout my bust of this group, Drew. I hate to say it, but I mean, not everybody's gonna hit.
Yeah. Maxwell.
So yeah, Maxwell Harrison. Hopefully, the sexual assault stuff doesn't cost him.
Stays off Twitter.
You know, yeah, just keeps his nose clean. And Miami might be calling. That could go north or south for him. Yeah. Good shit right there, brother. Let's speaking of brothers, Drew, let's we're fraternity brothers and fucking we got Bill Belichick here at North Carolina just trying to come in and be his own pirate. We got some odds I saw in the sports book today I thought were interesting. Which fraternity will Bill Belichick join?
Oh my God.
Beta Theta Pi, the favorite at plus 300. Sigma Nu plus 400. Phi Delta Theta plus 500. Sigma Chi plus 600. Delta Kappa Epsilon plus 800. Chi Psi 10 to 1.
Crazy work.
Got a lean? Got a lean on that?
I have no idea.
I like Delta 8 to 1.
Give me Kappa Sig.
I don't even know. Oh, there is more. Is there more? Oh yeah, Kappa Sigma 20 to
Hell
1.
yeah. I'm looking to make a lot of money.
I'll put 5 on it. All right, we got some more. Well, will Belichick wear a cutoff hoodie for North Carolina's first game?
Hmm.
Yes, minus 175. No, plus
I'll take
135.
the no.
Okay. What will happen first with Belichick's girlfriend? She enrolls for a class at UNC, minus 120, or she dates a UNC football player, minus 120.
Oh no. She is loyal to a T with him. I see it. She'll go to class. Put her in school.
Yeah, I love it. She'll stay loyal.
Listen, Jay, I have
Well,
to give you a 30-minute warning here. I got to be out by 6 Central.
we'll be done. We'll
All
be
right.
done. We're just doing these and
Yeah.
then find your inner pirate and walk the
Hell
plank.
yeah.
Will North Carolina make the 12-team playoff? 8 to 1 for yes.
Give me the yes.
Uh, will North Carolina reach the 2025 ACC championship?
Give me the yes.
5 to 1 for yes.
Yes.
5 to 1. Will North Carolina win the 2025 ACC championship?
Yes.
Yeah. 8 to 1 or 10 to 1,
Give it
baby.
to me.
And then here's one. What will happen first? Bill Belichick breaks up with his girlfriend, minus 200, or Belichick is fired at the end of 2025 season, plus 150.
Oh. Wow. Neither.
I know that's a tough one.
Yeah, give me neither.
I think we pass on that one.
Yeah.
Will North Carolina win 10 regular season games? 8-1 for yes. Eight to
Oh,
one.
I don't know how many games do they play, so that
12.
they go undefeated.
They need to go 10
10 and
and
2.
2 at
Yeah,
least.
give me the yes.
All right. I'm sprinkling on that action for
I
Belichick.
think he'll be a good
It'll be
coach.
fun to talk
Yeah,
about. It'll be fun to talk. I believe in him in general. Him and Lombardi. I believe in
me
what they're
too.
doing. So, and I think the girlfriend's gonna stay
Yeah.
loyal.
Although I could see him being cutthroat with her. Maybe there is something that upsets him and she'll be gone with the wind.
Potentially, yeah. All right, yeah. Let's wrap up, Drew, with who found their inner pirate. I'll let you take the lead with that if you got
I
something.
do. You know, with the free agency market where it is, it came to an abrupt stop with Aaron Rodgers sort of being indecisive or whatever. Maybe there's teams that are in on him, but they're trying to sort out their own stuff. But whatever the reason, Aaron Rodgers brought a halt to the free agency market and the inner pirate that has risen from the ashes. And I love this deal. Jameis Winston, two
Famous
2 years,
Jameis.
8 million. It's pennies for a quarterback, but I just see, Jameis in that New York market. He's got the personality that is just going to thrive there. 4 million bucks a
Yep.
year. They can fill out the roster all around him. He's throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors. I like that signing, Jay.
Yep.
It's fun. You know,
How can you
it's
not?
he made himself cheap enough to where the Giants are like, yeah, yeah, we'll do it. Let's see what you got.
It's a great safety net. Either he has to play or he's a phenomenal backup that can lead a young quarterback like a Shadur
Yeah.
Sanders. You know, that would be beautiful, I think, if you're a Giants fan, to have Shadur and Jameis as your quarterback situation. As much as I hate on Shane, the GM, if they can make that happen with that defensive line that they've built, they still need to work on the O line, but there's pieces there, Drew. Neighbors, there's pieces. So
If it's me,
I'm not counting the Giants
if it's
out
me,
long term. I'm
Jay,
not.
I mean, I think this is a real weapon for the Giants. I think Jameis he's a fun, unique quarterback, but I think, if you really have Dayball, just try and rein him in, right? Just really coach this guy up,
Yeah.
and you're able to just really build out the rest of your roster. Don't take Shadur Sanders. Take a blue chip player, someone that's going to really help your
Yeah.
team. Spend that extra money
Travis Hunter.
to really fill out the roster. It's a fun signing.
Travis Hunter
Yeah.
for sure. Um, would be a lot of fun if, say it goes Cam Ward, Sanders 1-2 to Tennessee and Cleveland, and the Giants are sitting there, you know, Travis Hunter could be the play. So yeah, that would be. I love that, Drew, for finding your inner pirates. That was a good one. For me, I'm going to Brandon Graham of the Eagles. 15 years in the league. I remember there was this Madden, Drew, back in the day. It was Ray Lewis, in the intro when he would always go 15 years plus. Just talking about his career. It just got me and my boy Hunter hyped. I'll send it to you later. It was epic. But 15 years in the league for Brandon Graham goes out on top, Super Bowl champ. I mean, the NFL, Drew, stands for not for long,
Yeah.
right? And 15 years, you just don't see that happen very often with injuries, whatever. These guys make so much money. There's really no need to play for that long with the wear and tear, you know. So shout out to Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
I also got hockey fandom. I'm back in on hockey.
Okay.
Hockey was my first love ever. The Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup in 2000, I believe, around there, and I was just a little 4 or 5 year old, but I fucking loved it, you know. And I'm back on the Stars are a winning out here in Dallas. They're really good. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals at least once or twice in the last 5 years, and with the Mavs doing what they did,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just kind of out on the Mavs right now. It's going to take a lot for me to tune into one of their games at this point.
Wow.
I'll still watch the NBA. Yeah, I'll still watch the NBA playoffs, but I'm in on the Stars. I want to go to like, some games. Hockey's badass. And so give me hockey fandom as Found Miner Pirate. Also, just real quick, this tournament, Drew, is phenomenal. The basketball tournament. I love it so much. Duke looks unstoppable. I think they're going to roll through and win it all. But I'm rooting for Houston, Kelvin Sampson. I'm rooting for Houston, and I think Duke's going to win it all. So we'll see. A lot of people like Auburn as well. And then for Walk the Plank, Drew, I'm going with Taylor Mathis.
Absolutely.
Career done. She get pregnant, I mean, she did that meme coin, right?
Hmm.
That just pissed everybody off.
Got fired from
Her
DraftKings for it.
brutal. So yeah, she's walking the plank. Who do you got?
Well,
Oh, also, Drew, real quick, I was gonna mention you playing Madden
yeah.
nowadays. Hell
Got
yeah.
a franchise going.
I'm the
Uh
Chiefs.
huh.
Right on, dude. What platform are you on?
Xbox. The Xbox One.
I believe there's crossplay. We should talk about maybe running a league together. I used to run a league with Deshulo and his boy, the Jets. Um, we did this fantasy league that was a ton of fun. I had some creative I mean, if there's a market for it, we should
I'd
do
love
it.
to.
You
Yeah.
know, I'd love to be commissioned
Yeah.
for a fantasy league. So yeah, let's talk about that later. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I'd be running my college football dynasty, OU and Texas. I got Texas State, my other one in the Sun Belt. We just made the playoff, so I'll be streaming that later tonight. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Man, I need it. I told you I'm an NFL trencher. I'm here in March, just still locked in on NFL. You know,
It's the
this is the
best.
trenches. This is where you pull out Madden. This is where you go all
Yeah, it's
in
the
on a
best.
league and, have some fun with it. Draft some guys, go through multiple years in one evening.
Yeah, the way we structured it, man, I won't be able to play a ton during the week. I'd have to play like in the morning or something. But the way we structured it was like, you get like 3 days to get your game in or
Yeah.
whatever. There's an advancement period, so we'll talk about it
Yeah.
later. But yeah, Madden. Are you playing the new Madden that's out? What year are you playing?
23.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I think I might have 23 actually.
It's a nice year for the Chiefs, and it was cheap um, at the store that I bought it from, and yeah, I mean I've got McDuffie, I've got Karloftis, I've got Creed
Oh yeah.
Humphrey, Trey Smith. It's a fun place to jump
Yeah,
into.
it's the core of the
Yeah,
team.
absolutely.
Right on. Yeah, we'll have to see. I got some old contacts from that league. A lot of them didn't make the jump from PS4 to PS5, so it kind of fizzled out. But we played a good 5 or 6 years. It was a lot
Wow.
of fun.
Well, listen, Jay,
So I'd love to do it
I've got a
again.
plank for you.
Yeah, who you got?
I really think there's a lot to learn from the only thing happening in the NFL right now, which is Aaron Rodgers is not signing with the team. There's there's a
Yeah.
lot to unpack here, Jay. So let me break down a couple pieces here. So obviously the one on the inside track here, he's my favorite. Call him an insider, but he's just his own guy. He's his own publication. It's Mike Florio. And
Uh-huh.
Florio is sniffing around this whole situation, and he's smelling some stuff, and he's unearthing it. And basically what you
Uh-huh.
have is Aaron Rodgers is not just sitting there being indecisive for nothing. What it is the Vikings are interested. The Vikings kind of want to sign Aaron Rodgers, but they're worried about what it means for JJ McCarthy because Aaron wants to play 2 years. He wants to sign a 2 year contract and get 2 years guaranteed money.
Uh-huh.
And, that's going to have some fallout with their number one draft pick. And Aaron prefers to play in Minnesota. He likes the coach there.
Yeah.
He likes the wide receivers there. He likes the defense. He loves the team. And Vikings also like Aaron. They think that there's a lot there and they think that they can go win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. And I love that fit there.
Yeah.
And it's the total Brett Favre shadow. I mean, there's also that aspect to the story.
Yeah, you're right. That's
But
crazy.
what
I didn't even think of that
Yeah,
yet.
but the other side to this is the you know the girl at the prom that's left there, without a rose is the Pittsburgh Steelers, which, by all signs Pittsburgh really wants to sign Aaron Rodgers. And who do
Uh-huh.
they have? Mason Rudolph right now is their starting quarterback. It's Pittsburgh fans are going nuts over this whole situation. They're they're looking like real idiots in this situation. They put all of their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and then Aaron found a better date for the dance. And
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
and we just don't know if Minnesota is going to buck up and put out the cash to sign him, and what that'll mean for JJ McCarthy. But to me, it leaves two entities walking the plank, which is JJ McCarthy. Like, what's the deal? What's the
Yeah.
deal there? I liked JJ McCarthy. I thought he was going to be good. Do I now have to doubt that? If they're like seriously looking at Aaron Rodgers, why wouldn't they be all in on their guy that they took in the first round?
I would do it if I'm Minnesota. I'm doing it. I'm doing the Rodgers thing for a year. Just McCarthy's such an unknown. Full year off last year, and before that in his college career, Drew. I mean, he was a handoff specialist. Not saying he doesn't have good tools. He's not a good prospect, but to learn, I just think Rodgers can take him in a dome. in Minnesota. I think he'd have a good bounce back year under O'Connell. I think I think he'd be really good, and he liked doing the mentor thing with Zach Wilson. He did. He didn't have that last year. Call me crazy, but I think Rodgers needs to go to Minnesota. Minnesota should be willing to take him, and that's kind of my take on
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it leaves some fallout for JJ McCarthy, but I mean, look, in every draft, I mean, it seems like there was, um, you know, a crazy amount of first round quarterback hits in last year's draft. There ain't always a perfect 100% hit rate in drafts. And sometimes some of those
Right.
guys bust. And maybe JJ McCarthy is the one out of that six that is a bust. And it's very possible. Um, but I think that's a guy that I see as walking the plank right now in the NFL, just from this little tea leaves that Mike Florio is kind of leading me on here. But Jay, let
Right.
me take you down this other side of the rabbit hole, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. I mean, what are they doing? Because
Yeah.
here's the reports. Here's the reports is that, and again, this is Mike Florio sticking his nose where teams don't want him to be sniffing around. And
The lawyer.
because this is Florio's thing. He doesn't want to be an insider where the agents send you a text along with five other people and you race to Twitter to be the first one to copy and paste the message. He wants to report the stuff that the
Uh-huh.
teams don't want you to know. He wants to sniff around the things that people want to keep under wraps. And that's the
Right.
media that he does. That's why I appreciate him so much in this game. And what he's dug out is that the Steelers wanted Justin Fields, but they got
Mm,
cute with it. They underballed him. They tried to get him cheap.
wow.
They offended him. That's why he went quickly and basically gave them the middle finger and said, "I'm not going to sign for huge. I'm going to sign for 20 million, but I'm going to the Jets. I like this team. They valued me. They're going
Mhm.
to play me at quarterback." Unlike, the
Right.
Steelers kept him on the bench. And so that's kind of what's coming out from this is that we think the Steelers kind of actually wanted to roll out Justin Fields at quarterback this year, but they got cute with it. Maybe they benched him on purpose last year because maybe they liked what they saw and they wanted to get him for the cheap this year. And maybe that's just what offended him. And when that contract offer came through, he said, "Get me out of this hellscape. I don't want to go through another
Hmm.
year riding on the bench behind a quarterback that I know I'm better than." And so he left them in the dust. And now the Steelers really look desperate as hell, if I can be honest.
Yeah, they have to get
They
Rodgers.
have to.
I mean, I thought Russell. What's the deal with Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, I think we're discovering, is at a tier lower than Carson Wentz. That's
That's
that's the other
crazy.
fallout from
Yeah,
this.
he got him to the playoffs last year.
I know, but the Steelers are a team that gets to the playoffs. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, whoever is manning that ship was going to get to the playoffs probably.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So I think the
I don't
Pittsburgh
know. I just
Steelers.
thought with DK coming in with that connection already, like I don't know. I think so. At this point, do you think Rodgers is a Steeler?
No, I really think Rodgers might even go to Minnesota. I like where you're going with that. I think the Steelers end up trading up to get Shadur Sanders.
That'd be something. Dion would love
Yeah.
that. Have his son play for Mike Tomlin. All right, Drew, you got anything else before we wrap up?
No, I have a couple other
Great pod.
principles for drafting on best ball, but I'll save those for later.
Yeah, let's save them for another day,
Yeah.
brother. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, go swing your sword this week,
Yeah,
Drew.
Jay, let's do it
All
later.
right, peace.